I'm Kevin, and I'm joined by my co-host with Harrison Bader like hair.
Yeah, it's a weird ordeal. Katie is just proving to be childish.
Which is why I don't feel I would give $5 million to Jack Campbell.
I don't know. Baseball is one of those sports where anyone who makes the playoffs really can be a contender.
I think the Padres definitely do it.
I don't think Donovan Mitchell gets traded.
Kyrie Irving does have the track record of not being a great locker room fit, or even good locker room fit.
Bader got some luscious locks. I gotta say it.
This is Zach Bigley, the broadcaster for the Frisco Rough Riders, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin. You guys better subscribe.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our MLB Opinions of the Week. We have already reviewed the World Series, and now, of course, the team that lost the World Series, the Blue Jays, you have to look at improving, Austin.
Yeah. This just popped in my head because we always do our World Series or bust. We do this for all four major sports that we cover. And I know this is not Blue Jays related, but I just wanted to say it. It's just, will the Dodgers be there again?
I think so.
I feel like they have to be. Even though they won back-to-back, I feel like they have to be. But that's neither here nor there. I think Toronto will be. I actually don't know. They won't be. I don't think they will be. Unless they make a big signing. And they have been pulling for a big signing the past couple off seasons. If they make a couple big signings, then yes.
Yes. Yeah. Because if you look at this team, I really have to think at this was a team. What was their record last year?
Not good. They were last in the division.
They were last in the division. Yes, it is a competitive division, but it looked like they had a lot of work to do. There were questions revolving around Vladimir Guerrero and if he would stay. He got a huge contract, and they ended up being the best team in the AL and went toe-to-toe with the Dodgers. So I wouldn't – and, they have young guys. They're a team that I think has a good future since you went this far against the team. To me, I want to say it's Clement, their third baseman. They got Jimenez.
Yep.
I am curious about how they replace George Springer. I'm not saying they need to get rid of George Springer, but to me, that's their only concern I have about him right now is kind of what does the future look like once George Springer retires, as he's getting up in age. But I guess you can always help with pitching.
Yeah, and like I said, Trey Yesovich, young guy, will be there for a while, hopefully. I mean, he looks like an ace for them. And you do not need to make a lot of splash moves this offseason, in my opinion. You can go for guys like Bellinger to replace some of your guys in the outfield, but they have a lot of young guys coming up soon, and their team is solid. I don't think they'll make any drastic changes. Do they re-sign Max Scherzer? I bet Scherzer. If Scherzer wants to come back, I bet they re-sign him. Just a cheap contract. I mean, this year's making 15.5. I could see him re-signing for 6 or 7 or 8. But I think that this team is. I think what they did to be a very good team this year, to be competitive, is hit the ball and make a lot of contact and make stuff happen on the base path. They have that built in. That is a systematic decision by them that doesn't really go cold. It's really hard because then the whole team has to go cold. But if you're relying on home runs and big hits, well, at that point, yes, you can go cold over time. So I think the way that the Blue Jays have built their roster out is going to help them be competitive next season. And any team that makes the playoffs in the MLB that we've seen has been able or has the opportunity to go far. And I don't think that changes with the Blue Jays. I think that they'll be able to be competitive next year. And I really doubt they make any substantial moves. Maybe a trade for a starting pitcher. Maybe they sign Bellinger or another outfielder. But nothing too drastic, in my opinion.
Yes, and I want to echo what you said of to me, the batting average and just being able to constantly hit is a huge. I want to say it's a huge factor for a team to win. Yes, home runs are great, but you really want a batting average and the ability to put pressure on the starting pitcher, and that's what we talked about with putting that pressure on the Dodgers, which they did. They forced 2 extra inning games. One was an incredibly long game. In game 1, they got was it Glasnow who was first? The first pitcher? Or was it Snell?
It was Snell.
It was Snell. They forced Snell out after 4 innings in game 1. Dominated game 1. That's something they need to continue. It's just it's hard to read this team given that just a year ago they're like, oh, they have to completely overhaul. Do they trade Guerrero? Do they trade Bichette? But they stayed the course. They re-signed Guerrero, and they ended up going all the way to the World Series. To me, it would be probably pitching. That's where I could see them if they really want to compete. I don't think you really do anything on the offensive side because your offense was amazing. I'm curious, do they do the deferred route with starting pitching? Could that be something to where, because is their window open now? Do you think like it has to be, right? They have a window of being a contender.
Windows are tough in the MLB, in my opinion, because the Nationals, I don't think ever had. I guess their window was open, but a lot of people after Bryce Harper left would have said it was closed. And after they won, maybe their window's open, but then no one really left the team besides Strasburg getting injured. And they were bad. They missed the playoffs that year. In a year that 8 teams made the playoffs. That was COVID. So I think their window is open, but windows in the MLB don't matter, in my opinion. Unless you're the Dodgers, in one case, their window is open for the next 8 years minimum.
Yeah. So yeah, it is confusing, as you said, but I could see the Blue Jays maybe going, oh, we can win a championship. We have to beat the Dodgers. And then they go get in a money fight for starting pitchers. And that's something we'll have to see because yes, they've always been like, they've been hunting for that big star. I'm just wondering, are they willing to go spend it on several different players? And to me, this offseason would be starting pitchers, but you could also do relievers as well.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of options that they could go through. I don't really think they're going to make any major move, though. Again, if there is, you can't have too much starting pitching. But I think that they're kind of in a good spot regarding making any other moves. I think that they are what they are at this point. And that is a competitive team, and they will be competitive next year. Again, they were the 1 seed in the AL this year. Who's to say they won't make the playoffs again next year?
Yeah, I agree. I would be shocked if they went and signed a big player because they've kind of been linked, but they haven't been able to do it. But I do think they should just stay the course because it worked this year. And we'll have to see what it does next year. But proving that, I think, goes a long way of what they can do for the future after this incredible year. So I'll let you close this one out.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. Please let us know what you guys think about the Blue Jays heading into the offseason, whether you think they can repeat the success of this year or maybe even get over the hump.